the year is gone and we are about to start the second half of the year. Can you believe that? And just like that, we are getting into July. But anyways, I probably said that at the start of every month because I was always surprised. This year was moving so fast and moving at the speed of light. So if at the start of January you set big goals, you set amazing goals that you would like to achieve before the end of the year or even before the half year is done, and somehow it's seeming like you haven't gotten through it or you haven't gotten halfway into all the things that you said you wanted to do, trust me, you're not alone. There are a lot of other people that are in this boat. The good news about it is that we still have the time to double up on the goals that we want to achieve before the end of the year. We have 6 months to do that. And so today we're going to be looking at how to have a midlife audit, how to check that we're still in terms or we're still in alignment with the goals that we have set for ourselves, and see how we're going to double up to achieve these goals before the end of the year. So sit back, relax, get a glass of your favorite drink, and let's get into today's video. Hey fam, how are you doing today? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Toby Achidime. If this is your first time of being here, so excited to have you here. Please do not leave here without subscribing. So hit the subscribe button and get notified when we have new videos up. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here again. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as you've enjoyed the other ones. Let's get into our mid-year audit and see what we have to do to make sure that the first half of the year we round up well and we're ready for the second half of the year. Before we get into the things we have to do, let's see, why are we even doing this? What's the point of having a midlife reset, a midlife audit? What is the point in all of this? I'm going to tell you this. The ability or the strength to look back, to reflect and see what worked or what didn't work is such a huge strength that I feel like a lot of times we just ignore how powerful it can be. But what it does is that it helps you to refocus. It kind of recenters you and puts you in the right frame of mind that you need to be to move forward, to move ahead, to learn from your lessons, to see what you did that you can do again and see the results that you want to see. It gives you the space to pause, to think, to reflect, and to forge ahead better. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 5 to examine yourself, and that is exactly what we want to do with this audit. So let's get in. You probably want to grab a pen and a paper for this, or maybe your notepad, whatever form of note-taking application you like to use. This is the time for you to get it because we're about to get serious with class. So I'm going to be giving you points or questions that I have written out from my notes so that it can guide you as you're going through these audits. And the first one is, am I content with who I am becoming as we're going through? A lot of times we get carried away with life's issues, challenges, that we do not realize that we have started to be who we do not want to be. Probably who you never thought you were even going to be. You do not realize that you're already being influenced by what is going on around you, or that your character is being influenced by what is going on around you. So for example, if you find yourself in an environment that is lukewarm, before you know it, you begin to act lukewarm as well. And you do not realize it because you probably have promised yourself to never be a lukewarm Christian, right? So this is something that you want to ask, and it's going to help you to be intentional about looking inward to see that you're still on the right path. Number 2 is you want to ask yourself, am I becoming more religious than spiritual? A lot of times we find ourselves being more focused or rigid with what we think a Christian is supposed to look like, or what we think a spiritual person is supposed to act like. You're supposed to dress in this way, you're supposed to speak in this way. These are the kind of friends that you want to have. And sometimes these are good. There are rules that should guide our work with God. But a lot of times what we do is that we then get carried away with the religiosity part of it, and we forget that there is a spiritual aspect of it as well. Do not be a Pharisee. You want to be a child of God. Number 3 is that you want to ask yourself, did I spend time with God daily? Was I intentional about my time with God, with my quiet time? Did I actively do the things that I needed to do? Or was I just handing it off to somebody else to do? What I mean by this is that sometimes what we do is, instead of praying, we are listening to prayer meetings and just saying amen to it. Yes, this is good, but what you also need to do is to be a participant in your prayer life. You want to make sure that your prayer life is good in the sense that you are also praying and communicating with God instead of handing it off to somebody. You're not signing off that work to somebody else to do for you. And another question that I would say you should ask is that, is my prayer life improving? Are you improving in your communication with God? Are you improving in your conversation with God? Have you become a person that prays once in a week, or you only pray when you're in the gathering of believers or when you're in church? You want to ask yourself these questions because the Bible says to pray without ceasing. That means you pray every time. Number two aspect that we're going to look at is your mental and your emotional health. Again, this is something that is very important because your mind is important as well as your emotions are important too. So questions that you would like to ask yourself is, have I been intentional about resting? And I talk about this in one of my videos. I'm going to have a link somewhere in this video, also in the description, because rest is not just something that you give yourself as a reward, but it is an ingredient for you to work towards the purpose that you're called to work with. If you're always tired and exhausted, it becomes difficult for you to do the things that you need to do in the time that you need to do it. You would only spend time recovering from burnout all the time. So ask yourself, was I intentional about resting in this season? Number two is, am I mindful of what I watch or listen to? A lot of times we are triggered by what we see on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, anything. The songs we hear, the people we hear speaking as well, sometimes even the sermons that you hear, they trigger you in a way that does not help you move forward or help you to be stable emotionally and mentally. You want to ask yourself the question as well. Number three, what do you think of when you get out of bed? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Are you thinking, oh, it's the end of the world? Oh, I have these problems to solve. Or, oh, I need to give thanks to God. What's the first thought line that you have when you get out of bed in the morning? This is a good way to see where you are mentally. You want to know if you are a worrisome person or you're a person that just trusts God to take over. And number four, you want to ask yourself this question: how are you really doing? A lot of times when people ask this question, we just expect a I'm fine or I'm good question. I'm one of the people that if you ask me how I am, I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm feeling at the point that you're asking me that question. So you want to check with yourself, how are you really feeling? Are you just giving a blanket answer and saying I'm fine? Or are you covering up a lot of issues that you then need to be speaking up about? So you want to be honest with yourself and ask yourself the difficult questions, the questions that if your friend asks you, you will get offended by. Ask yourself that question so that you can check exactly where you are at. And the last question I would say you should ask is, you want to ask yourself, are you holding on to offense? Are you holding on to anger? Because these things are killers. It's like what we say when we say you're holding on to anger or you're angry with somebody. They say you're taking poison and expecting somebody else to die. That's exactly what you're doing. And so you want to check with yourself, are you holding on to anger? Are you holding on to offense? Is there somebody that you need to speak to, that they have hurt you in a way that you could not express to them before? Let it go in this sense so that you are ready for the next half of the year. The third aspect we're going to be looking at is relationships. It's good for you to check your relationships so that you can know who you're surrounded by and who you're surrounding as well. So question number one, did you make new friends in this first half of the year? Were you intentional about meeting good people, right people? Did you follow new people on Instagram? Did you unfollow some people on Instagram? Since that's how we're making friends now, right? So you want to ask yourself and check if you made new friends. Number two is, what kind of conversations did you have? Were you having wholesome conversations? Were your conversations just gossip? Were you having prayerful conversations? What kind of things were you talking about with your friends? What kind of things or what kind of communication did you have? Every time you came together, was it to gossip about somebody, or was it to think of ideas that you can then work together on that is going to help you in the future or anything? You want to check those kind of conversations as well. Number three, you want to ask yourself, are my relationships draining me or are they nourishing me? Because what we do, and I know that I am a kind of person that I get attached to things. I find it difficult to let go a lot of times. But because I have now known this about myself, I'm very intentional about checking the health of my relationships. Is it draining me or is it nourishing me? You want to also ask yourself that question. Anytime I'm with this person, do I feel, yes, I am ready to take on the world? Or do I feel like the last energy that I have had to give it to you for you to take over the world or whatever? You want to check if you're being drained constantly. I talked about this in one of my videos where I said there are certain relationships that you have that what you do is that you just realize that every time you have been in the same space with them, you feel drained and you feel exhausted. You want to check that. So in that video, I talked about 5 toxic habits that you want to let go, and one of them is environments and relationships that drain you. Another question to ask when it comes to checking the health of your relationships is that what did you contribute to this person? What did you contribute to your friends? Or what did you contribute to your friendship circle? Were you the person that was always taking, or were you also able to give? Because a lot of times when we're talking about relationship with other people, what we do is we only see how they affect us. We don't think of how we affect them. So for example, when we're saying that you want to check if you're being drained or being nourished in your relationship, sometimes you are the one draining your friend. So you want to check that as well. Number 4 is your personal goals. You want to check your personal goals. And of course, we're going to talk about your personal goals. The whole point of doing this audit is that we want to make sure that the goals that we have set is achieved by the end of the year. So you want to check your personal goals. Where are you at with your goals? How are you doing with your goals? Some questions that you would like to ask is, what parts of your goals have you been able to achieve? What parts of your goals were you able to work towards? Which ones have you encountered difficulties or challenges with? Which one are you struggling with? Are you actively working to see the results that you want to see, or are you waiting for time and chance to happen? A vital question that you also want to ask is, have you gained clarity with the goal that you have set? You would be shocked that some people have not even gotten to this point, and if you haven't, it's fine as well. You still have time to do that. You want to gain clarity with what you want to achieve by the end of the year, so that you are not stumbling into all the things that people bring as a proposition or as a proposal to you. You want to be firm in what you want to achieve and how you want to spend your time in. And the last question I would say is that you want to check what mistakes and challenges have you encountered, and why is it important for you to ask this question, so that you can know how to avoid these mistakes in the future and how to navigate the challenges that you may have encountered with them as well. Number 5, you want to check your physical and your health. So probably not the best sentence to put that in, but what I want to say is that you want to check that your body is good and you're good in your health as well, because health is wealth, and so it is important for us to do an audit on this. So you want to check, are you getting your vitamins in? Are you sure that you're getting your vitamins in? Are you working out? When was the last time you had a thorough checkup with yourself or a thorough checkup with your doctor? Yes, God is the doctor of everybody, and an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but you also want to make sure that everything that needs to work is working and everything that needs to be right is right. Are you drinking more water, or have you gotten consumed with caffeine, with Coke, with coffee, with tea, with fizzy drinks and everything? Have you replaced water with every other drink apart from water? You want to ask yourself that question. One of the things that I realized about myself at the start of the year was that I was drinking too much Coke and too much coffee, and so I was able to take a step back from doing that because I became intentional about it. So you want to ask yourself that question. Are you drinking more fizzy than you're drinking water? Are you eating healthy, or are you eating junks all the time? When you get home, what's the thing that comes to mind for dinner? Is it to order something to eat outside, or do you have healthy options that you can eat in the house? Do you work out or do you not? So these are 5 major aspects that you would probably need to take audits, to do a proper good audit on, so that you are better ready for the next half of the year and you are able to win it in the way that you want to. I hope that this video helps you greatly. Please let me know in the comment section if it does. Also share with your friends and family as well. Let's continue to grow, let's continue to increase, and let's continue to spread the light and the love that we need to share. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till next time, bye.